Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Hi.
Good afternoon.
I'm Ritu, and I run a travel company called East India Travels from India. And I'm here to speak on this topic called inclusion through innovative business models. Now, how, you may ask, can a travel company be inclusive? It all starts, according to me, inclusion as just like charity starts from home. And that's where inclusion started for me. My daughter was 16 years old when she came up to me and she came out. She said, Mom, I'm bisexual. And as a parent, it took a lot from us to understand what that means to her and to understand how we could make her life better. This was also an environment in India when we had a constitutional amendment that criminalized homosexuality in any way. And so it was very difficult for my daughter to be with her partner and all of that. In understanding what her sexuality means to her, I as a parent had to rise up to the occasion and to understand basically what humanity means. And that's the first aspect of inclusion. So what I do is, as a travel company, how I've incorporated that into my business model is that I offer holidays specifically for the LGBTQ community in India. And how we do this is we want people to have more empathy, more understanding, and acceptance towards this community in every which way. So we're also trying to build a database of properties in our country that would be open to hosting such couples and people traveling with their partners. I've heard from people, ever since my daughter came out to me, I've become an intrinsic part of this community, and I've heard from a lot of people the travails when they travel, when they have to, say for example, two men checking into a hotel, and they're given twin rooms. Yes. I'm sorry, just give me one moment. Sorry for the interruption. That's thanks to my social media person in my company, I have to do this. So I was, leave it then, forget it, yeah, thank you. So I was saying that, say for example, two men checking into a hotel and they're given a room with twin beds. And if they are to ask for a double bed, they would, of course, receive all those comments and all of those looks, uncomfortable looks. And it's very difficult for them to then be comfortable and enjoy their holiday and all of that. So we're trying to build a database of properties. We write to them and we approach them and we tell them that we're selling holidays specifically to this community. And we'd like to know if you would be open to having these people come and stay with you. So that's one method by which, I have incorporated this inclusivity into my business model. Apart from that, there's also another segment that we deal with, and that's senior citizens. Now you would ask how, what does this mean for the senior citizens in our country? In India specifically, and I mean culturally, when a person retires, they generally retire from everything. They retire from their jobs, they retire from fun, they retire from happiness, they retire from life. They feel that this is it, now my job is to look after my grandchildren, and it's just, downhill for me from here. And I realized that a huge aspect when it happened to me and it happened to my parents. My parents, I was born in the 70s, I'm a 70s kid, and my parents were road trippers in the 70s. Now this was a time when India barely had any roads and we barely had any infrastructure. But my father was so fond of traveling by road that he'd often just put us kids in the car, and nearly every other weekend we'd be on the road exploring, areas near where we lived. I grew up in the south of the country. And as they grew older, they stopped traveling as much. And after they turned 60, they completely stopped traveling. Because there are physical restrictions for seniors in that age group to travel. More than that, it's a mindset. Because they feel that, how can we have fun and what good is this for us? So one of the target segments that we deal with through my company is the senior citizen segment, where we say that anybody can travel and it's never too late to travel. You don't have to be of a particular age group. You may have physical restrictions and some things that you may not be able to do, like trekking or hiking. We're also an adventure-based company. But there's a lot that you can do. You can enjoy the culture of another country. You can enjoy meeting people there. You can enjoy their cuisine. You can learn more about their history and their architecture. And all of that just needs for you to have the desire to travel. And we, as a company, do it for them. We just plan the whole thing. We take care of everything, including specific requirements for cuisine, specific requirements for, stay especially. A lot of our guests, they want rooms on the ground floor. They don't want to climb too much. And so we look after all that. So that's another specific segment that my company targets is inclusive travel. And we also have a third segment that we've just started catering to. Again, like offering holidays to the LGBTQ community as well as for senior citizens, this came out of my own personal experiences where I realized that some of my extremely overweight or obese friends were afraid to travel because everything is a challenge. Getting a seat on an aircraft is a challenge. Finding activities to do in a destination is a challenge. And the worst part is the way you're looked at. People look at you a certain way, people treat you a certain way. And if you're part of a regular group of travelers that's organized by, say, XYZ travel company, there are times when you can't join the group because the group's going to do some sort of an intensive physical activity, or there's going to be a lot of walking, or it's going to be like a day-long thing, and you just cannot participate given your physical restrictions. So that's when I decided that I would also offer holidays to this particular segment of people, because as I said when I started, that the motto of my company is that everyone can travel and everyone must travel. Because I believe that intrinsically travel changes something inside you when you're on the road, whether you're in a group or you're doing solo traveling, you're exploring on foot or by train or whatever. Traveling always changes something in you. And that opportunity to uncover the marvels of the world, that opportunity to go to another country and discover it and enjoy another culture and all the joys and the magic of that place should be open to every single person. And so that's what we do through our company. And this is how we have incorporated inclusivity into our company. There's also, of course, we would have liked to offer holidays to people who are differently abled, people who are wheelchair bound. But then I also realized that there's another Indian company that does that and does it really well. So we offer them outside support. We offer them destinations that they are not familiar with and they feel that they're not comfortable organizing holidays to. So we do that for them. So in short, that is what we do at East India Travel, and that's how I have incorporated inclusion through an innovative business model. Thank you so much for your time.
Now I would like to invite my other speaker. She is from Costa Rica.
Okay, well, thank you very much for being here. Have a good evening. I'm coming. Look where I'm coming from. Right there. It's a long journey. It's a long, long journey to be here. Well, I'm going to talk about inclusion through innovative business model because of my life. When we think about a business model, we really need to make sure that we have a niche. We have to address a niche. Who are we going to get? Who are we going to target? And the way I see it is that every business should be a mirror. And it would have to be a mirror of society. A mirror of society means that everybody outside feels included in that company, feels part of the company, feels that you're embraced by that company. So inclusion is the only way we can meet those goals. By inclusion, I mean that there is no any kind of discrimination at all. It means that all segments are welcome and all segments are respected. In this case, I'm talking more about people with disabilities. We are a lot, millions and millions and millions of people around the world. And we suffer of discrimination because we do not find jobs very easily. And we don't find jobs easily because people have a lot of myths in their minds. One of them is that we are different. And the truth is, we're all different. So that's not an issue. The second myth is that we don't know. Well, please raise your hand if you were born knowing things in life. Right? We all, it doesn't matter if we went to college or high school, if we have a PhD or not. When you come into a company, we need to learn. We need to learn how things are done within that corporation, within that environment. So that's the second myth that there is. The third myth is that we are sick. We are not sick. I'm pretty sure I am more helpful and healthy than anybody here. Because the only thing I have is that I have a difference in my hands, but that's it. So that's really something that is in the back of our minds. And people think, well, I don't want to hire that person because it's going to go to the doctor a lot. It's going to have a lot of absentee time. And that is not true. So bringing the subject into conscious means working with inclusion. The fourth myth is that when we come to a workplace, the workplace needs to make a lot of changes. And that is the fourth myth. Because the only change I requested when I came to the work in the Supreme Court of Costa Rica was 0. Not 1. I didn't need anything. The only thing I needed, and just because it's a little bit easier for me, it was a pen when I have to write on the computer, so that it makes a little bit extension of my hand here. But that's if I have it. If I don't have it, that's fine. I can do it anyway. So those are the things that we're not aware of, that we just preconceive myths and craziness, and that's how I call it, craziness in our minds. And that's the way we discriminate. It's very nice to say, I don't discriminate anybody. I'm open to everybody. World peace, love and peace, everything fine, right? Because it's very in to say that. And here everybody says that. But do you really work that way? Are you free of discrimination in every and any kind of forms? Tough, huh? Not the best answer that we wanted to hear in our side, inside ourselves. That is the truth. The best thing is to acknowledge it, to make it conscious, and then just be very humble and ask. It's so simple to ask. If you find somebody that needs a job and it has some kind of disability, ask, are you able to do this? What do you need? How would you feel in this company? What can I do for you to make you feel comfortable and you can do the work? And maybe you'll find a surprise, like people that hire me found a surprise that I said, I don't need anything. I just need an opportunity, because in life we all need an opportunity. And opportunities are really human rights. That's all we need in life. And in the terms that we are free of discrimination and open to love and giving everybody what we should have and we should give, then we will have a better world. And then you will have a success in your business. Because if I see a company that hires people with disability, guess what? I'm going to be 100% loyal to that business. Because I feel I'm part of that. And not only me, but my family, my friends, everybody. So it's a niche that you're not addressing, most of you. And it's a niche that is there. In tourism, let me tell you, that there's a place called Islas de Mallorca, Palmas de Mallorca in Spain. Within those islands, there's one island specifically that is fully accessible. They get $2 billion every 6 months because of tourism with people with disabilities. So, I mean, we're not talking about, few pennies. We're talking about real money here. Because the other myth is that we all are poor. I'm going to tell you, I'm not a millionaire. I don't want to be it. It's not my goal in life. But when I was starting to work in Costa Rica, and I came to a point in which I can support it myself, and I wanted to buy a new car, and I wanted a nice car, and I wanted a BMW. So there is a law that says that people with disabilities can buy tax-free cars in Costa Rica. So I said, beautiful, here goes. I'll buy a BMW for a price of a Hyundai or whatever. So I went through the whole process, and my first surprise was that there was a limit on the price of the car, so that will be exempt. And I said, why? What is behind that law? Is it to give a benefit to the people that have disabilities so that at least we'll give them something back from society because they were born in a certain way? Or you want to protect certain sector of the importers of new cars? The second. It was the law that, of course, people want to come and present it and take the picture of accessible. Because I am the one bringing the law to the country and we're open and, feel free of discrimination. But the truth, it was not that. The truth, it was really make us feel discriminated in the second way. First, because we were different. And second, because they tell you, here is the lollipop, try it, but don't eat it. And we all are kids in a way or the other. We all want the lollipop at the end, right? So I said, you know what? I don't care. I'll buy my BMW. And I did.
Wow.
But people really, when they see me, they're like, how come you don't have that plate that says accessible or disabled? I said, because I paid for not that plate. I paid for the full number one, so I may have it, right? Well, that's how it is. But that's a myth. People think that because you have a disability, you have to be poor, you have to be unhappy, you have to be sad, you don't have sex, you don't have kids, and you don't have boyfriends. And that is not true. None of it.
Yes.
We have a life, as everybody else. We have a soul, like everybody else. But the most important thing, we have a lot of gratitude for the opportunities.
Not many people.
So please, give us the opportunity in everything you do, in all the spaces you have. If you hire one person with disabilities, you're going to be absolutely successful. Thank you very much.